In this video, I want to talk to you about how important it is for you to know your local market, whether you're buying real estate for you and your family to live in, or whether you're buying it as an investor, whether you're a fix and flipper, buy and holder. Truth is, you could just be a real estate wholesaler and you still need to know your local market for you and for the investors that you wholesale these deals to. Now, before I get into the details, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. If you've already subscribed, thank you so very kindly. Click the notification bell so that as we drop new content, you'll be the first notified. Now let's get into this conversation about you knowing your local market, because a lot of people, and I'm dealing with this right now. I have a couple deals that I've been underwriting and analyzing and digging into the weeds on. And one property in particular is owned by, surprise, a real estate investor, literally here in Metro Atlanta, and they're desperate. So they were open to accept any offer. But here's the problem. They bought this property in 2022. So if you follow real estate market trends, which is general, that's not local, real estate market trends, you will know that in 2022, we were at the top of the market, generally speaking. I mean, literally. Most people back in 2022, at the height of this market trend, most people could list their properties and within hours have 15 to 20 people bidding on it, like literally. And guess what? There were people walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars because my wife is an agent and she represented a lot of sellers. So I know this to be true. But what happened was the market stayed up, prices were high, people were overpaying for homes, overbidding, and then the interest rates, IR interest rates went up. So now, not only are you paying more for a home, but you're paying more for the debt. This particular investor, who's nameless, they bought at the top of the market too much, and they bought with a high interest rate. Now it's 2024, and guess what? Their home is worth less than what that local market is demanding it to be sold for. It doesn't matter if 2 or 3 miles down the road, houses are selling that are somewhat comparable for different prices. It doesn't matter, especially in places like Metro Atlanta, because now they have a home that's worth less than what it can sell for, and they have a mortgage that's more than what they can rent for. So they can't sell it, they can't rent it, at least, and make a profit. Now they're stuck with a property that they're trying to dump onto someone else, but not me. I know my local market. I know that local market. And I know in places like Metro Atlanta, there are many different local markets. As a matter of fact, in places like Atlanta, we have subdivisions. There could be one subdivision here that's considered an entire local market. And I've had this happen. As a matter of fact, one of my fix and flips earlier this year was a fix and flip that we had this come up where we bought it, and when we bought it, there were certain comps or comparables of houses that sold in that subdivision that they had fallen off by the time we fixed it up and relisted it, right? Once we got a contract, by the time we got close to the closing table, when the lender for the new buyer did an appraisal, a lot of those old comps 2 or 3 months prior had fallen off in this same local market. And they wanted to take the price of this home. If I'm not mistaken, we listed it for like $299. I think the appraisal came back at like $270, just within like a 6 to 7 week window, right? But this is what happens in local markets. Now, because my wife, who's our transaction coordinator and she's our real estate agent, she understands this whole game. She was able to get a reconsideration letter. She was able to like really fight for this, and somehow the appraisers and the lenders allowed her to kind of go out of the subdivision a little bit, and I think she was able to go back a couple extra months beyond that 3-month window, and we were able to get it up, squeeze it up to 294. But that could have been tragic had we done the wrong math, didn't take some of these things in consideration. But we understand how important it is to know our local market, and not just the market you live in. Your local market can be a subdivision or a couple of subdivisions in a specific geographic location. Matter of fact, we have a deal going on right now. We're in the process of renovating it, and we're going to flip it and resell it. But that local market is a strong market, where there are other properties we're looking at. The markets are so hard hit and distressed that people are still hanging on to prices from 2022 and 2023. And we're telling them, what you could have gotten a year and a half ago in this local market, you can't get because of the foreclosures and the short sales and the deed and lose and the distressed deals that have taken place. This market is hit. So all I'm saying to you, whether you are looking to buy a property for you and your family or invest in a property, especially if you're looking at investing, if you're buying for you and your family, I'm not saying that you want to take a hit, but you're probably going to be there for a long enough time that the market will rebound. But as an investor, whether you're fixing, flipping, or buying, holding, especially if you're fixing and flipping, you got to know your local market.